Don't get all tangled up. Smile, and the best and worst of it is all ahead on the Sports Betting Show. Tonight, a tribute to the Battlers. All year, the experts say they couldn't make it, but now Sydney United are in the grand final. Meet the fans and the players. It's Origin Week in League and AFL. Benny's back to review and preview, plus Duggo makes his fearless predictions. Dougie's at the bar for world-class cricket. Trouble again at Roland Garros. We've got the odds. Glamour style, class fun, and of course all the latest betting, straight and exotic. From Adensa Park, home of the Sydney United soccer team. Grand final fever soccer style. The Sports Betting Show. And here's the goalkeeper, Ross Humphrey Ronaldo Baxter.
Monty, that is mine. G'day punters and welcome to the Sports Betting Show, coming to you from the Sydney United Soccer Club, where Sydney United on Sunday take on South Melbourne in the Ericsson Cup final. South Melbourne are at $1.40. They are odds-on favourite. We'll check the odds later, and Mark Tinelli will also talk with a couple of the players and coach. Now, Monty Puma here. I cannot believe how many times my boss has tried to get me into one of these where I wouldn't say a bloody word. Well, it hasn't. It's not going to happen. Now, Monty, they normally throw you out of planes and you do some bizarre things. I mean, anything planned for the weekend? Really? Outstanding stuff. Well, another super cat is our favourite girl, Lizzie Dard, and she's out crowd surfing.
Okay, I've got some very loyal supporters here with me for the Sunday match, and one particular little guy called, what's your name, mate?
Dylan.
Dylan's here with us, and these guys have a very special little song they're going to sing for you guys. 1, 2, 3.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the pumas strike tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the pumas strike tonight. A win at home, win away.
AFL time, and Duggo can't be with us tonight because he's actually in Melbourne. He gets married tomorrow as he rocks down the aisle with the lovely Sophie. But I spoke to Duggo earlier on in the week on the set of the Wheel of Fortune, because the way the games are going at the moment, the AFL, it really is a Wheel of Fortune who'll win. AFL Origin time. Let's talk to Duggo. Well, Sunday the 30th of May isn't only Ericsson Cup Grand Final Day, it also marks the 10th anniversary of Independence Day of Croatia, and with Sydney United having a very big Croat backing, it's going to be a big day. They're going for third time lucky, the third time that they've been in the Grand Final. Can they do it? Our last bastion, Kendall Bastion, is out in the crowd in the Sydney United clubhouse to ask who is going to take out the premiership on Sunday. Fair bet I think I know who they might say.
Thanks, Humphrey. And here we are with some of the fans of Sydney United. They're up for the grand final this weekend. How do you feel about your team being in the grand final?
Very confident in regards to the this week's game at Elias in Melbourne. We should definitely come out with a victory.
And what about them being up against Melbourne? They're a tough team.
They're our old rivals, you know, the Melbourne boys. We should. It's our time that we win. We should win.
Okay, great. So we're very confident about these guys.
Sure.
And how about you? Are you guys going to be in Melbourne cheering on Sydney United?
No, unfortunately not.
You're going to be watching them on television,
Yeah,
though?
right here.
Yeah. And what do you think their chances are of winning?
Pretty good. They'll be winning. Yeah.
And here I am now with the club's president, Stan. Stan, how do you feel about the boys' chances on Sunday?
I believe that chances are excellent because boys playing really well, and this is third time in the finals in the last 10 years. We were unlucky a couple of times before, but I think this time we will win it, definitely.
So third time lucky for the boys?
Yeah, third time lucky, and also it's falling on the Croatian Independence Day, and we will have double celebration.
So it's a special day for two reasons then?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, very special day because Croatia became independent by will of Croatian people 10 years ago on this day, and that's why it's really, really important to us to win this game, to have a double celebration.
Well, that's fantastic. We'll be behind the boys all the way. Go Sydney United!
Well, Australia's bad week in World Cup cricket got better with a resounding victory over Bangladesh, but it's still a long way to go. Joining me, Dougie Walters and Angus Hamilton. Dougie, how about this for a World Cup? We are struggling, Australia, at the moment.
Hasn't been the greatest World Cup that we've ever competed in, but still we haven't won one. But Well, there are better times ahead, I think.
Angus, the odds are blown out for Australia to $11. They were at $4.50 earlier on in the piece.
They've been pretty friendless throughout the tournament, I have to say, Humphrey. Big match tonight for them. If New Zealand beat Pakistan, Australia only have to beat West Indies to qualify. So I think that Australia will actually be supporting New Zealand for a change.
Now, Dougie, South Africa through to the Super Six, and they are just on fire, aren't they?
South Africa and Pakistan are looking really good. And to me, at this early stage, I mean, lots of things can happen, of course, but South Africa and Pakistan look to me as if they're the two teams that are really on fire, and it'll be no real surprise if they're playing one another in the final.
Dougie will be back to join us later at the bar with our good old mate Resh, and Angus will be back to talk more odds on the French Open.
Well, Angus Hamilton is here to talk to me about the French Open tennis, and I don't know if it's really dreadful tennis. It's probably up and down at the moment for the Australians, but Humphrey was a little bit harsh saying it's dreadful. What do you think?
Well, very good performance from Melbourne's Andrew Illy to beat Jonas Bjorkman in round one. I must admit I expected Jonas Bjorkman to beat him quite easily, and then he beat up-and-coming Argentine player Martin Rodriguez in the second round, and he's got a chance of progressing further. He plays Dominic Hobarte in round three. And obviously Pat Rafter and Jason Stoltenberg did well to come through their first round matches. And of course Stoltenberg beat Philippoussis.
Who do you think the best are for the French Open?
Well, I think in the bottom half of the draw in the women's, I think Lindsay Davenport might well come through. I think she's got a very good draw. She's been out for a month, come back from a wrist injury, won in Madrid last week, and has looked in good form so far. And in the top half, I wouldn't be surprised to see Serena Williams come through. I mean, Hingis and Venus are due to play each other in the quarterfinals. I got a feeling Serena might come through. She hasn't got a bad draw at all. In the men's, I think it's still wide open. I mean, Marcelo Rios has got a very hard match coming up against Albert Costa, and they're in the top half of the draw. Bottom half, it's hard to look beyond Gustavo Kuerten. He's still around 5-1, and the more I look at it, it's hard to see him getting beaten.
So he's your favourite?
He's definitely favourite to win it.
Okay, well, there's the tips, guys, for the French Open, and I've got Mark now with the soccer for you.
28 weeks ago, the Ericsson Cup started with 15 teams in the national soccer competition. This weekend in Melbourne, the decider will know who the national club champions are. With me at the moment is Dave Mitchell, who's the coach of Sydney United. Dave, looking forward to a hard game this weekend, I take it?
Yeah, very much so. We remain the premiers. South Melbourne were champions last year, so it looks for a very good game, and hopefully we can get on top and win this one.
South Melbourne are raging favourites. Why is that?
Well, the champions from last year. The game's down in Melbourne. They'll have the majority of the support. I think they are favourites, but we'll go and try our best, and hopefully we can win.
Well, you've played them 3 times this season, won 1, lost 2. What are you going to do differently this time to the minor final?
Well, really, it's a cup final, really, so you'll be going to each other's throats. Sometimes it's pretty tactical. Last game we played them at home. They were very defensive, and we couldn't score against them because they had won the game at home. But this is a one-off game, and it's going to be very open, and we'll go each other's throats and see who wins.
And with me at the moment also is one of the strikers, actually 19-year-old Joel Griffiths. Now, Joel, I understand South Melbourne has the strongest defence in the league, and you're going to be up there against the strongest defence. Is that daunting for a 19-year-old?
It isn't, their defence is a pretty solid side with Nick Orlick and Con Blatters, but I don't really mind that. I'd rather them be aggressive and tall and go at me, so I can get past them. But hopefully Mille and Nathan can do the job on them on Sunday, and hopefully we can get the title.
Well, look, Humphrey, it's back to you, and I believe you've got that lovable wag from Rugby League, Benny Elias, with you. And hey, Benny, how about them there Queenslanders on Wednesday night, huh?
Well, what about Queensland? They got our money on Wednesday night. I thought it was an ordinary game. I thought there was just no razzle-dazzle. They've got to bring in the 5 metres again and get people built into each other, having a bit of biffo. None of that on Wednesday night. I mean, it was an anti-climax, and I've got to say, New South Wales had one break. They scored 1 try. Unfortunately for the Blues, 1-0 down, and they're going to be very hard to win the series from here.
You haven't been travelling too well in your tips, and we've got your lovely sister Ella.
Hello.
And Ella, how's it feel to be with your rough nut, very, very ordinary-looking brother?
I feel quite tall, actually.
Yeah, well, take those stilettos off, will you, for God's sakes?
Well, we've actually got telephone books on underneath. Now, Ella, we've brought you in because the women are absolutely whipping Benny's backside, literally.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, nothing wrong with a good whipping now and again. But so we thought we'd see whether it runs in the family, whether the odds are against the Elias. Okay, Ella, so is it the Raiders or the Roosters?
The Roosters for sure.
Okay. Now, finishing the round out at North Sydney Oval. Great to see the Bears back at North Sydney Oval up against the Tigers. North's at 116. Balmain at 450, Benny.
What was that, 116?
$1.16 the Bears.
North Sydney, how do they get it right? Well, Balmain's performance last weekend was nothing short of absolutely embarrassing. And Junior, I know, he was just as embarrassed as I was watching that game last week. Balmain, you can't play 2 weeks in a row as bad as you did last week. It is an absolute joke if they even try and consider the performance. If they just increase by 20% this week, they've got to be a show. They've got to be a show. North Sydney are desperate. They're playing with no confidence whatsoever. I'm going to go for Balmain.
Money says North. Ella?
No way, I'm sticking with North Sydney on that one.
Oh, okay. Well, I tell you, we're going to
loyal, isn't she?
Oh, really?
Yeah, really strong.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, after
go.
living with you for all those years, I tell you what, she's got to go against you. Well, we'll see how well Ella fared, and it's not true that you were named after Gary, Steve and Mark, is it?
Yes, it is.
Well, it is.
Oh,
well, there you... Well,
we've got a comedian now on C7. Good on you, Hums. You're a genius. You're a comedian.
We won't go to your family heritage. We'll see how well Ella did against Benny's Tips next week. You are watching the Sports Betting Show on Optus Vision and Austar through Regional Australia, proudly brought to you on the C7 Sports Network.
Next week here on the Sports Betting Show, AFL Premiership is back, plus the League and Origin Game 2 betting, the big horse races, the golf, the World Cup cricket and French Open semis. That's next week.
At the bar of the Sydney United Soccer Club, Ante and Jenny are going to bring two of the best drinkers I know, Reshus and Dougie.
Cheers.
For Reshus and Dougie at the bar.
Well, Dougie tried to get rid of you a couple of weeks ago. He's finally got it right.
Oh, it's about time, isn't it? I think about a month ago he started.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, but we are finally taking off next week.
Right.
Don't know whether we're going to see a lot of cricket, but we could be out there on the golf course and the race course and the tennis courts.
Yep. Will the Aussies be there? Will the Aussies still be in the tournament?
We'll see. We'll still be seeing some cricket, but whether the Aussies are there is a big question mark over their heads at the moment. Who cares? I don't particularly care, and we're going to see the best of the world playing against one another. And that doesn't really worry to me, but I think it's probably disappointing to a lot of the tourists that we're taking.
Well, let's talk about the tourists. You're going over there with over 60. It was quoted in the paper over 1,000. Is any chance that Boone's record will be broken by yourself?
Well, if I got to have a beer with every one of them, and we're not going by ship.
No.
We're now going by plane these days. I mean, if we're going by ship, there was a fair chance that record would be broken. But yeah, a mate of mine will look after us pretty well on the plane. So yeah, Qantas. There's a fair chance that record could be still broken.
Any chance of beating the Barmy Army, who came over here and absolutely disgraced themselves?
Well, they didn't disgrace themselves. Actually, I thought they were quite good. The Barmy Army, and I think they're good for cricket.
They took over your stand.
Well, you can't drink or smoke on that stand, so I don't mind them taking that one. But we probably haven't got the strength of the Barmy Army, so. But we're still going to have a great time and
a good shot at it.
Yeah, we'll have a shot at it.
Yeah, good to hear. Look, I'll leave you there, Doug, because I know you're preparing for a plane to catch with Roscoe's trying to put you on for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We'll look forward to catching up when you get back. We don't quite have the budget to get you on via satellite over the next couple of weeks, but get over there and stick it right up those palms.
A great game tomorrow in New Zealand. Let's look at the odds. Well, you can't get any closer than that. Both teams are at $1.85. Otago, of course, caused that amazing upset last week in South Africa, while Canterbury dispensed with Queensland. Well, I've got two guys here who aren't interested in the Super 12s at all, but they are big South Melbourne supporters. Of course, we've got the championship decider at Olympic Park, on Sunday. Sydney United versus South Melbourne. Guys, who's going to be the winner?
Being Victorian, South Melbourne, of course.
Oh, definitely South Melbourne.
Would you like to say by how many goals they'll win?
I'll say 3-0.
Oh, I'd say probably 2-1.
Well, we've got two guys here who are supporting South Melbourne. They think that they're going to beat Sydney United by 3 goals. Let's wait and see.
Well, here I am in my favourite position, the rose amongst the thorns. Yeah, more puns than a punnet of strawberries in this program. Benny Elias.
That's your favourite position, standing up? You have changed, mate. Jeez, you're a funny man.
So, Benny, what about those two attractive-looking sisters over there?
Damn good sorts, mate.
Are they?
Two sisters
Good breed,
on
eh?
this side, the brothers on that side.
Yeah, the good sorts inside, the roughheads outside. So, Benny...
What about the girls in between?
Even better. Benny, Sydney United or South Melbourne?
Mate, I've got to go for South Melbourne because every time I back against... Excuse me?
Oh, not you, Benny.
Oh,
This
sorry.
little bear here.
I'm going for South Melbourne because I'm just a shocker with tipsters, so we're hoping the Sydney United win.
Toenails?
Oh, if Benny goes South Melbourne, I've got to go Sydney United. Put your house on it. It's an absolute monster.
Well, Kendall, it was just a little bit of a certainty that everybody here was going for Sydney United tonight.
I think so.
Lizzie, big week.
South Melbourne for me.
Now, I just want to ask, what happened? What happened, Toenails and Lizzie, to the Reds, the Super 12?
We did a fantastic job, that's all. Oh, the Super 12, I'm talking about the league last night.
Listen, they did pretty well this season, and they'll be back next season. But let's get off the rugby union and get on to the rugby league, huh? That's one zip.
Well, it'll be a Blues win. Now, Lisa, you're a Queenslander, so I suspect you're going to go with Queensland.
Well, I actually won last night, for the bet. I bet that the
Queenslanders?
Yeah, so the Queenslanders win, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Ella?
Definitely the Blues.
We're singing the Blues.
Singing the Blues, yeah, we were last night.
Last
now, heaven forbid, who knows, what is it going to be this week?
Well, viewers, I'd like to say that no Croatian Dalmatians were harmed during the making of this episode.
Croatian Dalmatian. Well, I've got to ask one more time. Boys, who's taking it out on Sunday? There'll be plenty of that. There'll be plenty of that. Until next week, have a great week. Happy punting. Take care.
Bye.
Night, Lisa.